All right, so ready to jump into AI and education.
Sound good.
It's like everyone's talking about, right?
That's everywhere.
Like imagine AI helping you learn, faster, deeper.
Hmm.
Pretty cool, right?
It definitely has potential.
But then there's the flip side.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
What if it makes us, like, less original, less able to think for ourselves?
That's the big worry a lot of people have.
Exactly, and that's what we're diving into today.
Looking forward to it.
We've got this awesome article by a professor who's actually been using AI in their classes.
Oh, wow. So real world experience.
Yeah, not just theory, for over a year.
That's a good amount of time to see the impact.
Right, and we'll also be pulling from research papers, even student polls.
Getting all sides of the story then.
Trying to, at least. So
No.
the article kind of kicks off with this question. Is AI like a learning booster,
Mm-hmm.
or does it kind of mess things up?
That's a good way to put it.
Because it is a tool, right?
Totally. And like any tool, it depends how you use it.
Exactly. And it seems like even students are divided on this.
Oh, really? What did they say?
So get this, 72% of them think AI helps them learn faster.
That's a pretty big chunk.
Yeah, but
There's always a but, isn't there?
54% worry about, losing that originality.
Ah, so that tension is there even for them.
Yeah, so it's not just us out here theorizing. It's like a real dilemma.
It's interesting, right? Because it's not just a student issue, it's societal.
Totally. How do we balance, like, this amazing potential
Yeah.
with the fear that we might lose those, like, core thinking skills?
Right, because we don't want to just become robots ourselves.
So is AI the bad guy?
Mm.
Is it, ruining education as we know it?
I wouldn't say villain. I think the professor makes a good point.
What's
It's not the AI itself, it's how we use it.
like a hammer, you can build a house or...
Or you can break something.
Exactly. Okay,
Yeah.
so not good or bad, just...
Powerful and needing careful thought.
I like that. So the article, it gets even smarter, right?
Yeah.
It breaks down this whole AI challenge from different points of view.
Makes sense, because different people are going to be affected differently. Right?
Totally. So we've got administrators, faculty, parents.
And, of course, the students themselves.
Exactly. Each one's got, like, their own set of concerns.
Yeah, and probably opportunities, too.
Right. It's not all doom and gloom.
Let's break it down then, shall we?
Let's do it. Okay, so administrators, they're kind of like the front line, right?
Yeah, they have to make the big decisions.
Trying to keep things fair, academic integrity.
All while this new technology is changing everything.
Yeah, so much pressure on them.
I can't even imagine.
And one of the huge things they're dealing with is obviously cheating.
Oh, yeah, with AI writing stuff, that's got to be a nightmare.
Right. Like, how do you even know anymore?
I know a lot of schools are jumping on that detection software.
Yeah, those programs that say if something's AI written or not.
But the article, it's kind of cautious about that.
Why is that? Doesn't it seem helpful?
It would be, except there's a lot of research saying those programs aren't that accurate.
Ooh, so you could get falsely accused.
Exactly. Imagine you wrote something yourself, but it gets flagged.
Awful. Your whole academic career on the line.
And the article cites a bunch of studies, Ardino in 2023, Gag Harrison and Quarterman in 2024.
There was also one by Hudson, same year.
And Perkins, too. All saying these detection things are flawed.
So it's not a foolproof solution.
Nope. And it brings up a bigger question, actually.
Was that?
What even is plagiarism in the age of AI?
Whoa, yeah, that's deep.
If a student's working with AI, is that still their work? Where's the line?
It's not black and white anymore.
Exactly. It's way more complicated than just did they copy paste.
So what are administrators supposed to do then?
Well, the article points to some schools that are trying different things.
Like what?
Instead of just focusing on catching cheaters, they're teaching ethics.
Oh, like how to use AI responsibly.
Exactly. They're also updating their, honor codes.
To take AI into account.
Yeah. And they're showcasing good examples, students using AI the right way.
So it's more about a culture shift, not just punishment.
Right. Make it part of how they learn, not something scary.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But what about the teachers themselves?
Oh, I bet they're feeling this big time.
Like, how do you even teach when students have AI?
Right. Everything's got to change, doesn't it?
The article had some numbers on this too, actually.
What were they?
So 64% of students use AI for reading assignments.
Whoa, that's more than half.
Yeah. And 32% for writing.
So those essays, research papers, they're not the same anymore.
Right. Like, what's the point if AI can do it?
That's where teachers got to get creative, I guess.
What do they do then? Ban it.
Some are trying, but that doesn't always work, does it?
Kids are tech savvy. They'll find a way.
Exactly. The article suggests Focusing on what AI can't do.
Like what?
Critical thinking, that deep analysis, creativity.
Stuff that's uniquely human.
Exactly. The professor in the article, they actually have students analyze AI writing.
Oh, interesting. Like Spot the Robot.
Kinda. Or compare human written to AI written. See the difference.
So making it part of the lesson, not the enemy.
Yeah, teach them to use it as a partner, not a replacement.
AI literacy, that's what they called it, right?
Exactly. And that's a skill we all need these days.
For sure, for sure.
And it's not just teachers, right? Parents are probably freaking out a bit too.
Oh, totally. AI in their kids' school. It's got to be unsettling.
Think about it. All those concerns they already have. Fairness, creativity.
Yeah, is my kid actually learning or is the AI doing it for them?
Right, and we just talked about all those students using it for assignments.
I bet some parents are like, back in my day.
Haha, right? Pencils and paper, the good old days.
But seriously, it is a valid worry. Are kids becoming too reliant on this stuff?
The article actually touches on that, and the findings, they might surprise some folks.
Oh, what did they say?
87% of the students, they said AI actually HLPS them learn.
Wow, okay, so maybe not the enemy some people think it is.
Exactly. But the key phrase there, it's guided use.
So not just throwing AI at kids and hoping for the best.
Right. Schools have a role here. It's got to be intentional.
What can they do, specifically? Like to reassure parents.
Transparency is huge. Be open about how they're using AI.
So no secrecy. Tell them what's going on in the classroom.
Yeah, and what they're doing to prevent cheating, level the playing field.
Oh, that's important. Not every kid has the same access to tech.
Exactly. And the article mentions some schools are doing workshops.
For parents.
Yeah, like AI 101 for scared moms and dads.
Aha, I love that. Take the mystery out of it.
Right, because when people understand something, they're less afraid.
And that leads to better collaboration, everyone working together.
Exactly. Speaking of collaboration, we got to talk about the students themselves.
Oh yeah, they're at the center of this whole thing.
Living it every day. The article talks about this tension, right?
What tension?
AI can be a tool, but it can also become a crutch.
Ooh, I get that. Like relying on it too much.
Yeah, it does the thinking for you instead of you learning to do it.
It makes sense. It's like when you're learning to ride a bike,
Okay, I'm listening. Go on.
at first you need those training wheels, right? For balance.
But eventually you got to take them off.
Exactly. Otherwise, you never learn to ride for real.
Perfect analogy. So with AI, students need to know when to use it.
And when to, like, power down and use their own brains.
Exactly. Remember that 54% worried about originality?
Yeah, that it might make them less creative, unique.
That's a valid concern. They're picking up on something important.
So how do we teach them that balance, that AI literacy we talked about?
Honesty is key. Being open with students about the good and the bad.
Like AI can be amazing BUT.
But you still got to learn to think for yourself and teach them how to do that.
So like critical thinking skills alongside the tech skills.
Exactly. And I think peer mentorship could be powerful here.
Oh, like students helping each other out.
Yeah. Imagine they share tips on how to stay original even when using AI.
That's cool. Like a support system, but for creativity.
It turns it from the scary thing into something they can manage.
Okay, so we've talked about the risks, right? Cheating, over-reliance.
And that some kids might not get equal access to it all.
Yeah, the digital divide, that's a whole other issue.
But we've also seen the potential, haven't we?
Oh yeah, deeper learning, research becoming easier.
Even boosting creativity in the right circumstances.
So it's complex, not all good, not all bad.
And that's where the article's core message really hits home.
What's that?
AI is a collaborator, not a competitor. That's how we got to see it.
I like that. Working with it, not against it.
Exactly. But it's got to be a team effort, all sides involved.
Right. Administrators, teachers, parents.
Students too, and they can't just be passive in this.
So what does that collaboration actually look like, practically speaking?
We've touched on some of it already. Detection, but smarter.
Not just relying on those flawed programs.
Right. Redesigning assignments so they're AI-proof,
Make them focus on those uniquely human skills we were talking about.
Exactly. Equity, that's huge, making sure everyone benefits.
And mindful use, I like that phrase, like thinking before you AI.
Exactly. Those are like the 4 corner pieces of the puzzle.
Okay, I can visualize that. But let's break it down even more, make it practical.
Sure, let's get specific. So, with detection.
We know the programs aren't perfect. What else could we do?
It's got to be about more than just catching cheaters.
Okay, so a deeper approach.
Yeah, like helping students understand the ethics of it all.
Not just, don't do this, you'll get in trouble.
Right, but why it matters. What's at stake, you know?
So building that moral compass alongside the tech skills.
Exactly. Make it part of their values, not just a rule they follow.
Makes sense. Okay, so that's detection. What about redesigning assignments?
Oh, that's where it gets fun. We talked about analyzing AI writing.
But what else can teachers do? Like specific examples?
Think about assignments that really push those higher level skills.
The stuff AI still struggles with.
Yeah. Evaluating different arguments, seeing the nuances.
Coming up with your own ideas, not just rehashing what AI gives you.
Exactly. And applying knowledge to real-world stuff, complex problems.
So less memorizing facts, more doing something with those facts.
That's the shift, yeah.
Yeah.
Active learning, not just passively absorbing.
Makes sense. But what about equity? That's a big one, right?
Huge. We can't just assume every kid has the same advantages.
Some might not even have AI, let alone know how to use it well.
That's where schools got to step up. Resources, training.
Bridging that digital divide, it's essential.
Otherwise, AI just makes existing inequalities worse, right?
Exactly. It's got to be about lifting everyone up, not just the lucky few.
And it's not just the tools themselves, it's the support around them.
What do you mean?
Like making sure all students feel comfortable asking questions.
Oh, yeah. Some kids might be embarrassed if they don't get it.
Exactly. A safe space to learn, experiment, even fail sometimes.
That's so important, that sense of belonging in the classroom.
And it applies to AI, too. Everyone's on this learning journey together.
Okay, that's detection, redesign, equity.
Yeah.
What about mindful use?
This is where it all comes together, I think. That balance we talked about.
Using AI, but not letting it use you.
Exactly. It's about having a healthy relationship with technology.
But how do you teach that? It's not like a textbook subject.
It starts with honesty. Like we said, open conversations about the good and bad.
So, not pretending AI is perfect.
Yeah.
Or that it'll solve all our problems.
Right. And teach them how to think critically about the info they get.
Like how to spot bias, even in AI-generated stuff.
Exactly. Because those biases exist, we got to be aware of them.
And then they can make their own choices, informed choices.
That's the goal, right? Empowerment, not just obedience.
And as teachers, parents, we got to model that mindfulness, use ourselves.
Oh, absolutely. Kids see what we do more than what we say.
So if we're glued to our phones 24/7, they'll think that's normal.
Exactly. We've got to show them a balanced approach to tech.
Use it when it's helpful, but don't let it take over your life.
It's about being intentional, making conscious choices, not just reacting.
Okay, so that's a lot to think about for schools.
It is, yeah. It's a huge shift, but a necessary one.
But what about the students themselves? What's their role in this?
We can't just put it all on the adults. They got to take ownership of their own learning. But how?
It starts with honesty, like self-honesty.
About how they're really using AI, not just what they tell their teachers.
Right, like am I actually learning or just getting the work done?
That's a tough question to ask yourself, especially when grades matter.
It is, but if they're not honest, they're only cheating themselves.
So taking a step back, being like, is this really helping me?
Exactly. And if not, having the courage to try a different way.
Which might mean more work, less reliance on AI.
But it also might mean actually understanding the material.
Long-term gain versus short-term ease.
Right, and that's where that AI literacy comes in again.
Knowing the tool's limits so you're not fooled by it. Exactly. And being aware of bias, like we said, not just taking AI's word as gospel.
So questioning everything, even the tech that seems super smart.
Yeah, because it is a tool. And tools can be used well or poorly.
The choice is ultimately up to the user, in this case, the student.
And that's powerful. It puts them in control, not the other way around.
I like that. Empowerment, not just compliance.
Exactly. And of course, they need guidance along the way.
From teachers, parents, people they trust.
It's a team effort, for sure, students, but the adults got to step up, too.
Create that environment where it's safe to ask questions, try things out.
Like we said, everyone's learning about this together. No shame in that.
Right. It's a whole new world, even for us grown-ups.
Exactly. So much to figure out, but that's also kind of exciting, isn't it?
It is. Keeps things interesting, that's for sure. We've talked about AI in schools, in the workplace. It's huge EE.
Right. It really feels like it's touching everything these days.
But I keep thinking about this one idea.
What's that?
We keep saying AI is a tool, something we control.
Right. A collaborator, like we said.
But what if it's more than that?
Okay. I'm intrigued. Go on.
What if AI could actually make us more human?
Now that is an interesting thought. How do you mean?
Like, Think about it. It's already helping us understand ourselves better
Well, yeah, those personality insights, the data tracking our habits.
and connecting with people across the world instantly.
True, social media, all that's powered by algorithms, isn't it?
Even creativity, art, music, AI is pushing boundaries there too.
We often focus on the threats, the job losses, the bias.
But there's this whole other side, the potential to enhance us.
Make us more compassionate, more connected, more expressive.
Exactly. What if, instead of AI taking over, it helps us become our best selves?
That's a powerful idea, and I think one we don't discuss enough.
It's not AI versus us, it's AI with us, for us.
Beautifully put. It's about shifting the narrative, isn't it?
So, to everyone listening, what excites you about AI? Where's the potential, not just the fear?
The future is being written right now with every choice we make.
So choose wisely, choose boldly, and maybe choose humanly. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. It's been amazing.
The pleasure was all mine. Until next time.